A few weeks ago, none of this existed. The floor was covered in parts. Any thought of washing a car left me disappointed and disillusioned. And somehow, I'd accumulated 3 project cars while making meaningful progress on approximately none of them. Then I sold one. And for whatever reason, this started a chain reaction. This is not really a video about selling a BMW. That just happened to be the first domino to fall. This was supposed to be the easy one. The one to just drive, knowing that the Volvo remains a never-ending project. But somewhere along the way, it became another project, in line for attention. A friend asked about buying it for months, but I kept coming up with reasons to wait. I should install some parts first, fix a couple things, clean it up, make it more complete. My hesitation reminded me of a conversation I'd had recently. I was talking to a friend about a car he'd been holding on to for the better part of a decade. Eventually, it became clear that it was too far gone and the project wasn't going to happen. He resisted the idea of scrapping it. Not because it was too nice, not because he had too much money tied up in it, and not because he dreamed of seeing it back on the road. It made sense to get rid of it, but he felt a mental block. Like it should have amounted to something more. The emotional investment of justifying the space it occupied, defending its existence when it was just another thing in the way. It was all supposed to mean something.
I think the car is just, it violates the speed versus volume rule in my eyes. It's just too loud for how slow it is.
I swear the opposite. This car is actually very slow. There's no possible way out of speed.
The last time I actually drove it, I got pulled over. Yeah.
It can be hard to accept when something has run its course in your life and move on. My E36 wasn't that extreme, but I understood the feeling. I spent years imagining what it might become, collecting parts for it. And after a while, that image in your head starts to feel like a reality that you're compelled to realize. Once the E36 left and began freeing up space, I started noticing just how much it had accumulated. The Volvo was completely disassembled from paint. The 2002's interior was yet to be installed. Parts that were previously tucked discreetly into corners now blanketed the floor. Some people can work in chaos. I am not one of them. For me, the garage only works when it's free of clutter. Without that, I begin avoiding it. The same day the E36 left, another car arrived. My wife and I have been sharing an X3 M40i as a daily driver for the last 5 years, which mostly works given that we both work from home, but in the past 6 months we've decided it's time for a second car. That led us to this 2016 Mini Cooper S. I wanted something simple, inexpensive, different than what I've had, and pleasant to drive. My only hard requirements in a Mini were that it be a vibrant color, automatic, and the later F56 generation. I've always found deep satisfaction in getting rid of things and rearranging spaces. One clear section of floor makes you want another. One organized shelf makes the shelf next to it look repulsive. Taking something you already have and changing how you interact with it makes it fresh and exciting again. But once you break the seal and enter that mode of optimization, there's always something else. I've hated this thing for years. It leaks, often fails to build pressure, and it's never made good foam, regardless what foam cannon or nozzle I try. And the pump constantly makes that awful shriek. The rest of the garage is starting to feel more frictionless. This is very much the opposite. I decided to use the dead space between the garage doors as a dedicated wash wall. As I added more storage to the garage, I realized that I was beginning to run low on wall space. Optimizing every inch of the garage wall is becoming increasingly important. I wanted to mount the pressure washer to something solid, so I cut and painted a piece of 3/4 inch plywood as a mounting surface that would also be slightly more moisture resistant than drywall. For the top half of the wall, I used PVC slat wall to give me flexibility in positioning brackets for all of the products and attachments. I want everything that I need right here. If it all fits right here, then I'm doing a good job of keeping things simple. I 3D printed all of the brackets that I could, including a great bracket for wall mounting the pressure washer that uses a keyed sort of French cleat to hold it securely, yet make it easy to remove the washer when needed. I'm on a budget, and honestly, I'm still not that sold on pressure washing, so I picked up a Ryobi 1.8 gallon per minute pressure washer on sale as one last attempt to see if this can work for me. Initially, I planned to install a reel for the hose, but realized that wouldn't be very functional in this spot, so I opted for a simple bracket to coil the hose on. I don't actually enjoy washing cars. I enjoy having clean cars. I like the idea of the ritual, but my wash setup and products have never been satisfying. If I ever gave up on project cars, I could imagine getting more into learning detailing, but it hasn't happened in the past 15 years, and at this point, I don't think it will. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of videos from a car care company called DriveLab. Their whole philosophy is to simplify safely washing your car by being honest about what products you actually need and teaching you how to use them together. No bucket, no mitt, just the chemicals and some towels. I wanted to see whether it was just clever marketing or something that would actually work for me. What stood out is how much effort they're putting into educating people about how the system works. Not just catchy TikToks, but actual educational content. They specify a few different wash approaches depending on how dirty your car is, and have very detailed instructions for each. That was a promising sign to me. If it worked, this would be exactly what I want. No trial and error with different products, just a straightforward system. This was compelling enough that I reached out and had an opportunity to talk with Griffin, their founder. After further explaining the chemistry behind it all, he offered to send over their full kit to see how it works for me. The X3 would be the test. While the project cars sit protected inside the garage, this spent all winter outside in the snow and salt. We've towed our teardrop trailer thousands of miles across the country with it, and recently drove to North Carolina for the vintage. It's a workhorse that gets washed far less often than it deserves. Most of the time, it just goes through the automatic touchless wash, so it's never really clean. chose the most thorough wash method listed. This starts with a soapy pre-rinse with the foam cannon fully diluted.
So I just finished doing that soapy pre-rinse and cleaning the wheels. So you can see the pre-rinse still leaves a lot of bugs on here. So the hope is that after the wash step, all of these bugs and other junk on the paint will be gone. And in general, if you look at the surface of the paint, you can see it looks really pretty grimy and dull still. So this is a tall order of what I'm expecting this to do, but it's a pretty good case for testing out the limits of this system.
After washing the wheels, next comes a contact wash. Foam the car and let it dwell on the paint for a couple minutes. Spray foam on a towel and wash the car, wiping vertically from top to bottom. When it becomes dirty, turn the towel to a fresh quadrant or grab a fresh towel.
I can already tell this is cleaner than a normal wash where I would stop at this point, and we're not even done yet.
Cleaning the glass, you use a 30-to-1 dilution of Hot Lap, the same product you use in the foam cannon. I made the mistake of not wiping down the windows with one wiper, which allowed hard water spots to form on the glass. Hot Lap won't take that off, even in more concentrated forms, but once I realized my mistake, a quick touch-up with one wiper instantly removed the water spots. This car was deeply dirty. I have not seen this level of shine to the paint in at least 3 years, and I am not exaggerating. This pressure washer is a huge upgrade over the last one. The foam cannon works shockingly well and produces the thickest foam I've experienced firsthand. The contrast between my old setup and this one is laughable. I'm just kind of blown away. Everything worked exactly how Griffin and Drive Lab said it would. I feel like that shouldn't be that novel of a thing, but it kind of is. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the finished wash wall. I'm enthusiastic enough about this that I ended up designing and printing my own brackets perfectly sized for these bottles just so that I can lay them out on the wall. So where does that leave me? The garage is clean, my mind is clear, and I finally have a way to keep my cars washed without distracting from projects. So I'm ready. Ready to work on the 2002. Fixing the floor, installing new wheels, suspension, and who knows what else. The E36 is gone now, but it inspired these designs that'll remain in the shop. If you want one of these or something similar, check out my store. Thanks for watching.